This video is sponsored by Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend and by Reaper Apparel Company. Stay tuned till after the video to learn how you can save 10% off of your order. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to this edition of The Fuel. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the absolute fucking travesty that was the 2024 USA Today 301 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. At the time of me recording this, the Gluck poll was 66% yes for this race being a good race, which I honestly gotta wonder what the fuck these people are watching at this point. Because this race was an unmitigated fucking disaster. You notice that there's no background music, so you know what the fuck's going on here. This race fucking sucked. A giant bag of donkey dicks. I despise this race with every fiber of my being. And it's so frustrating because it was just a few short years ago. We had, the 2022 race, which was marred by that early race rainstorm. But you take that out of the equation, it ended up being one of the best races of the entire year. And now we come here 2 years later, in 2 years running, New Hampshire has been a giant pile of dog shit. Last year I thought was boring as fuck, even though some people tried to tell me that, it was actually pretty good. No, it wasn't. I could barely keep myself awake during that fucking race. And then this one was even worse than last year's. Because during the first half of this fucking race, I was literally falling asleep. Like, I was finding it extremely difficult to keep myself awake. I was kind of wanting to be like old Claw right here. He's just asleep. Trying to fall asleep. With his arm over my batteries. Butthead. That's basically what I was doing during the first half of this race. It was boring as fuck. And we got the lone pure lead change of the day on lap 42. When Christopher Bell took the lead from Chase Elliott, who actually managed to get out to a pretty big lead right off the bat, but then Christopher Bell in the long run caught up with them and ran him back down. Were there some good battles at some points? Yeah. But it was not enough. It was just not enough to keep me engaged. I mean, yeah, we had a good battle for fourth between Blaney, Berry, and Truex, and then we had a battle for second between Elliott, Logano, and Blaney at the end of stage one, but, I mean, that was about it. That was honestly about it. Then we got to stage two. Like, I damn near yawned right there. Like, legitimately. Because, I mean, I'm literally getting bored. Just looking over these notes, and it's just reminding me of just how absolutely boring this race was in the first half of this race. And it's just like, this is garbage. This is absolute garbage. I mean, you have the leader running away to like a 2-3 second lead on every single fucking restart. Just no challenge whatsoever. It's just like, what's the fucking point? Then we had green flag pit stops. Severe weather was on the way. And then we had our first caution on lap 142. It took all the way to lap 142 to get our first official caution when Daniel Hemrick spun off of turn 2. So it took nearly to the halfway point to get caution number 1. Would you believe me if I told you that we would end up with 12 fucking cautions in this race? Despite the fact that nearly the entire first half went caution free. That shows you how boring the first half of this race was, and then it shows how fucking messy the second half was. Of course, you had people, staying out, doing some strategy shit. Kyle Busch, his season is just, this season has just been an absolute dumpster fire for him. And this race was just the epitome of that. You know, when he was trying to catch back up under caution, something either snapped loose on him or something broke, and he went right into the wall, and that was the end of his day. I mean, that just sums up his entire season, it feels like, and it puts his um, season winning streak in jeopardy. He's won at least one race in 19 consecutive seasons. If he gets at least one win this season, he will break the all-time record. He's tied with Richard Petty for the all-time record at 19 consecutive seasons with at least one win. And right now, that is in serious jeopardy because this race marked the halfway point of the season. So he has 18 more opportunities to try to get a win this season. And right now, that 8 car, just RCR as a whole right now, just seems to have regressed big time from the last couple of years. Especially that 8 car. That 8 car was a threat to win damn near on a weekly basis the last couple seasons, and now it's just nowhere. Like, what the fuck happened? So we officially get to halfway. Hamlin won stage 2. And I think Christopher Bell ended up winning stage 1. And then we get to stage 3, and then we get to stage 3. You want to talk about fucking embarrassing racing. The cautions just really started racking up. The first 2 stages, we had just 2 cautions. Stage 3 had 10 fucking cautions. Did I also mention the fact that this race, which was a 301 lap race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it's typically one of the shortest races on the circuit. This race lasted for nearly 4 fucking hours. And when you throw in the red flag that I'm going to be talking about here in a minute, that means that we had to sit through this fucking race for 6 goddamn hours. A 301 lap race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway took 6 fucking hours to complete. No excuse. I mean, you had Logano and Elliott getting damage on lap 194, which caused the caution when Logano locked up the left front. Corey LaJoie gets spun in the middle of a 4-wide situation on the next restart. I mean, a lot of these cautions literally came out 1 lap after the green flag. And then Truex spins in turn 4 after cutting across Keselowski's nose, even though he thought that it was Keselowski's fault. That was on lap 210, and then lap 216, Kyle Busch spins down the backstretch to contact from Ryan Preece, trying to force 4 wide. And then the rains came, and at that point, I thought the race was over. Because there was a huge storm coming in, and of course darkness was going to be a thing because New Hampshire doesn't have lights. But they actually, if there's one thing I will give NASCAR credit for in this case, it's the fact that they waited it out. They didn't pull a Coca-Cola 600 where they waited 2 hours and then decided, well, we're just going to call the race even though the track was drying. So I will give them credit for at least waiting it out. Especially considering the fact that there was actually a couple of tornado touchdowns in New Hampshire during that time. Because it was that the entirety of New England was actually under a heightened tornado risk. And the track was under a tornado watch. The track was actually under a severe thunderstorm warning during the rain delay. And it was a 2-hour and 14-minute red flag. And then NASCAR decided we're going to put the wet tires on the Cup cars. We'd seen it in the Truck Series. We'd seen it in the Xfinity Series. But now we're going to see it in the Cup Series. Wet tires on an oval. And a lot of us were excited because we've seen what these wet tires can do and what the kind of racing that they can produce in the lower tier series. And when you saw everybody just trying to find all of the grooves, using all of the grooves, even the apron, all the way up to the groove next to the wall, it was a sight to behold. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then Ross Chastain spins in turn 4. And then this NASCAR decision basically ruined the whole thing. They basically said that nobody was allowed to come to pit road to change tires at any point unless it was for a damaged wheel. You cannot make any switches to dry tires. You can't switch to a new set of wets without our say-so. That completely ruined it for me. Because it's basically NASCAR doing way too much fucking hand-holding with these teams. This is the top echelon of stock car racing in North America. These are the best teams in your sport, and you want to fucking handhold them? I mean, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if motorsports fans from other disciplines were fucking laughing their asses off at NASCAR's goddamn ineptitude. Like, this is fucking embarrassing. And there was a widespread outcry about it. It's like, let the teams decide when to go back to the dry tires. Of course, you had some outliers like Eric Estep saying that, oh, well, I don't mind the hand-holding. Fuck that. The hand-holding was a massive turnoff for me. I'm sorry. I mean, I think that's fucking bullshit. So they got back racing. There was a couple more cautions, and then NASCAR declared non-competitive pit stops. That's the other thing. Non-competitive pit stops, meaning that no positions would be changed during pit stops. It's almost like NASCAR is trying to completely take strategy out of this fucking sport. And it's at that point, it's like, what's the fucking point in even investing in this fucking company anymore? And of course, they also trotted, as per the usual, when there's a lot of backlash against NASCAR's decision making, and rightfully so, they always trot out Elton Sawyer, that fucking mook, that fucking jamoke, that, always tries to come up with some dumbass excuse as to why they make their decisions and all this other fucking, diarrhea-laden bullshit that they try to trot out every single fucking time this happens. And quite frankly, I'm fucking sick and tired of the excuses. I'm sick and fucking tired of people trying to make excuses for this company. As far as I'm concerned, those people just like to get down on their knees, get their knee pads on, and they just like to get up in there deep and suck NASCAR's wrinkly ball sack every chance they fucking get, like it's fucking candy or some shit. And I'm just fucking sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the fucking excuses. I'm tired of the excuses. I want results. And we're not getting it out of this fucking company because this company is quite frankly fucking inept. And then it was just caution after caution after caution. And oh, hey, look at that. We also get a fucking overtime on top of everything else. And Christopher Bell ends up winning it because Chase Briscoe decides to start racing his teammate Josh Berry, even though both of them could have had a legitimate shot at trying to challenge Christopher Bell, but no. Briscoe decides to, just hold up his teammate and just let Christopher Bell run away with it. I mean, it was a green-white checkered finish, and Bell ended up winning this race by over a second. Like, what the fuck? I did not enjoy this race whatsoever. This race was a fucking embarrassment to the sport. Because you had a historic moment with the Cup cars going out on the wet tires on an oval and proving that it could work, but the fucking hand holding just completely ruined it for me. It completely ruined it for me. And then you look at these stats and it's just like, holy shit. All season long, we're at race number 18. Every race this season has had at least double digits in the overall lead change count. Until this race. We had just 6 lead changes this entire race. And don't give me this fucking shit, well, that's just the way it goes in New Hampshire sometimes, when literally 2 years ago we had 9 pure lead changes. 9 pure lead changes. And here we had 6 overall lead changes. Unacceptable. I will not accept mediocrity. I won't fucking do it. 12 fucking caution flags. I mean, we were literally caution free for almost half the race, and then all of a sudden, we had 12 fucking caution flags because people forgot how to fucking drive, evidently. An overtime period, we had almost 3,000 green flag passes. And you say, well, the average is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good when you have so many goddamn restarts that help that number. And then Christopher Bell ended up leading the most laps at 149. So the last two races, the winner of the race was the guy who led the most laps. As Claw now wants some screeches. The butthead. As for my final rating for this race, I'm giving this race a 0. I did not enjoy this race whatsoever. And I thought about it, over the past 12 hours, if there was anything that could redeem this race. I mean, you could say that there was some decent battles. And when they went on the wet tires, it was interesting to say the least, but all of the negatives just completely overwhelmed it. Like the boring ass fucking racing in the first half, and then the absolute fucking mess that was the second half of that race. And then NASCAR just completely NASCAR can't get out of their own fucking way. The hand holding was a complete turn off, and at that point I just said, fuck this race, I'm done with it, I'm ready for it to be over. And then on top of that, we got a fucking overtime on top of all that. A 4-hour fucking race at New Hampshire, of all places. 6 hours if you include the red flag. This race was a fucking disaster. And the fact that it's getting a positive rating on Gluck's poll just shows you how fucking retarded this fan base is. And how this fan base just blindly sucks this company's dick without a care in the world, not realizing the fucking repercussions that this shit's gonna cause. This is a fucking embarrassment. And it honestly makes me wonder why I continue covering this shit. Because this company is a fucking joke. It really is. Until they get some new leadership in this company, I don't foresee it ever reclaiming the glory it did in the early 2000s again. I really don't. But I'm done talking about this race. I've ranted about it enough. We're halfway through the 2024 season. 18 races to go. Hopefully, I'm hoping that the rest of the season is good, but I'm not holding my breath. Especially not after last night. But thank you very much for watching this edition of The Fuel. And until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan letting you know that tonight's video was sponsored by W Jitterless Energy Blend and Reaper Apparel Company. Special shout out to both of them for sponsoring my YouTube channel. W Energy is a jitterless energy blend that contains coffee fruit extract and was designed to give gamers a boost of energy without all the downsides of regular energy drinks like crashes and harmful ingredients. And there are several different great flavors that you can try, such as Dragonade, Push and Punch, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, Watermelonada, and the limited edition Palm Blom flavor. And don't forget to get you a plastic shaker while you're at it. If you're interested in giving W Energy a shot, there's an affiliate link down in the description box below. In addition to W Energy, this video has also been brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. By clicking on the affiliate link down below in the description box, you'll be able to browse through many of their different wares, such as hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and other cool items. And that's not the only thing. When you place an order and you go to checkout, be sure to type in the code PackerMan and you'll be able to save 10% off of your order. And it would also help me out as well if you use the affiliate link. So thank you if you do. And also, special thanks to both Dubby and Reaper Apparel for sponsoring my channel. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs, and thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe to stay apprised of the latest videos for this channel. If you would like to join the Spare Parts Gaming community, links to their Discord and Facebook are down in the description. Also, if you would like to leave me a tip for the video, a link to my coffee is down in the description box below at buymeacoffee.com/thepackerman71. Also, be sure to give my channel sponsors W Energy and Reaper Apparel Company a shot. Their affiliate links are down in the description box below, and it would help me out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out.